Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a great day, and we're going to go through this market. It's a little bit wild as we're approaching the election here, but we're going to break it all down. You know that. So let's get fired up and see what's going on. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. How are you guys this evening? And here we go. Let's take a look because it was crazy. We have big caps and the Mag 7 are beating their earnings and dipping hard. So it's pretty wild market and they're all at the top, but they were teetering. So and we're going to go through everything and look at it, including crypto, and see what is going on as we're about 6 days out from the election. And I hope everybody just is going out to vote, whoever you're voting for, just make sure you're going out to vote for this election. And here we go. Let's get fired up and look at some stocks here. Here we go. Maxon, MAXN, and I know a lot of yous were really happy today with this bad boy. It ran up really nice for us, and we've been looking at it. We looked at it pre-split, and then we've been looking at it set up. Kind of knew it was running, I would say. Opened at 610 and got up to 1119 today. And I had a few messages where people were locking them in, couple $1,000 days. So congratulations to everybody that was locking them in on MAXN. That's what I love to hear. That's why I love to do the show and post things and do this. So keep doing it and keep sending them over because it is awesome. So here we go. MAXN. Let's see if it's going to continue tomorrow. That's what everybody cares about. It got over that 50 right there, and it's looking pretty strong. I'm not going to lie. Look at it in the morning, pulled back only 6 cents, but it looks pretty solid right there. So I would take a look at MAXN in the morning and see how that's moving. We also hit a few other ones this morning or today. It was STI, THAR. We went over that one, ran up a bunch. HAO. LGMK, the Logic Mark, ENSC. We saw that on the scanner last night. XLO, we were in that way before. RVSN, I posted it this morning, started running up immediately. And that OKLO just is continuing the run up. So a lot of other poppers going on, including Maxon. So we are just rocking and rolling. And let's see what's happening. And again, the earnings are crazy. And we're going to go through all of that. So I kind of tried to shorten the list. And to be honest with you, it's just a little bit rocky now that we're, less than a week away from the election and all these earnings are just, they're beating earnings and dipping. So it's a crazy market, but we will navigate right through it and see what's going on as we look at SMX because that was on our list because it was dipping down there. And I'm telling you, this one's going to be getting set up to move. It's a security company in Ireland. I don't know what they have going on, but it pulled back pretty nice. And I'm telling you what, this thing is looking good to start moving. So SMX, keep your eye on that because that's going to want to start cruising up there very soon. And let's look at Wint because this one was pulling back pretty much a lot today. It's 7 cents down another 10%. And it looked pretty good yesterday. I'm going to say if it doesn't bounce back up by tomorrow or Friday, it might be done. So we'll look at it for another 2 days and see what it wants to do here. WINT. And like I said, it could easily bounce. And if it doesn't in the next few days, I don't think it will. The 20s just, it keeps kind of pulling away from it. The 20s at 86 and this is at 74. So I'll just keep my eye on it, but never really ran up like it should have. But that's all right. They don't all have to. And it kind of just pulled back a little bit there. So we'll keep our eye on WINT and see what it wants to do. TOVX. That was up a penny today, and it ran from 147 to 152, and its low was at 147, and it closed just above it at 148, and it still looks solid. I think it might try to run up more tomorrow, TOVX. So keep your eye on that one in the morning because that looks like it wants to continue to run. Oh, yeah, and SYRS, that one is that one that we've been watching, and their earnings, I believe, are they today or tomorrow? I mean, the thing's set up like a maniac. Their earnings are tomorrow and it looks like some healthy pullback and it is set up. It could run up until like that. It could run up another $2 from here with no problem. So it's at 250 right now, and I'm curious to what this is going to do in the morning. SYRS. So just keep your eye on that and see what it's up to. And I don't know if they post them after or before. I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, it wants to do something. It just had that little bit of flat kind of healthy pullback look today. So It looks like it wants to continue up. SYRS, so I'll watch that tomorrow on the earnings. AUST came down about 4 cents. This one hit the top. It's way up there. Obviously, you don't want to be chasing it. I was seeing if it wanted to bust through that 319. It got up to 319, opened at 310. So it did run up, came down to 290, and I think it might have to pull back a little bit, but it'll probably set back up, and that's that Austin Gold AUST. So we'll have to keep our eye on the whole gold industry as well and see what's going on with that. LGMK, that logic mark was running up today, and that ran what 12, kind of the lower 12s to the high 13s there, and it looks like it wants to keep moving up into the 14s. So a little bit of pullback in the after hours. Let me just see what this chart looks like, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, just a little healthy pullback in the after hours, although it did hit that 15. So I guess it ran up in the after hours, came back to 13. So it did get up to that over that 50 right there. So I'll have to look at this in the morning because it ran up there in the after hours, it looks like. So I'll take a look, but it doesn't look bad. LGMK, Logic Mark, and that's been moving for us. And that one is, like I said, LGMK, VCIG, VCI Global. This was down a little bit today. It did pop up yesterday, and we'll have to see what it wants to do tomorrow. Let me just see. It's over there. Let me look at it on mine real quick. VCIG. And it looks like it wants just some healthy pullback today and continue to move. So that's what it looks like to me. We'll have to look at that in the morning as well. But I think that's just some healthy pullback and wants to get moving some more. So that is VCIG. And let's take a look at NDRA. Let's see. That one is just kind of pulling back. It did run up yesterday and a little bit today from 28 to 30, almost 34, which is pretty good. And it's back to 28. Looks like it just kind of pulled back there. So I'll have to see what this one wants to do because it did have that momentum today and then pull back. So it's sitting on the 50. Could just hang out right here, make a base as the 20's coming up. So we'll keep an eye on NDRA because that could be even setting up even better there. So I'll look at that. COOT, Coot, that Australian oil seeds was up another 4 cents today. And I'm telling you, this thing could get blasted off, and it's very low volume, 29,000, and just the right setup there. So keep your eye on that COOT because it could easily get moving and with like not much volume, almost like that Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, RCMF. Or whatever it was, Rocky Mountain RMCF. That's it. And that one dipped down today. And like I said, I was surprised it came up that high, but kind of just went flat RMCF. So see if it wants to bounce back up. It is setting up a little bullish, but I could see it pulling back a little bit more. And that's that Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. And then let's look at BTCT. That BTC Digital was down 31 cents, but it came down and hit that hard support line where the 20's meeting it. So you could see it bounce on this. I was looking at it today. And I was thinking, wow, that's kind of setting up for that little bounce look. And my chart looks completely different. It looks like we're, oh, well, hold on. I think I have the wrong one on there. That's why it would look completely different. But let me look at this. Whoa, what the heck did I just put in? What the heck am I doing? What is that? Hold on. Let me just put Apple in there and then go back to it. BTCT. All right, there we go. Now I got it in there. I think it was bringing up some because it's so close to Bitcoin, it was bringing up something like one of the exchanges on crypto. So it was looking all kinds of crazy. But anyway, here we go. Let me look at it. It is pulling back there, but hitting that support line. I could see it just, it could bounce off. It's a hard one to look at, to be completely honest with you. We'll have to see that in the morning. A lot of them, they're just kind of bouncing around in a hard look, like seesawing because of the election coming up. A lot of the Mag 7 earnings, and like I said, they're beating the earnings and pulling back. So it is a little bit crazy right now, but we'll work right through it. And that's BTCT, and it looks like it could bounce, but I'd have to look at it. S dot. This one was trying to go up and it pulled back today. And now it looks like it's actually pulling back. Yesterday, it started to pull back up. And then in the after hours, it tried to pull back up. So we'll see what it's trying to do here. Like I said, it looked better yesterday. And then today, it pulled back. and we'll see if it can get back over that 290 area and get moving. It's at 269 in the after hours, and that's SDOT, CNET, CNET. This one was down 26 cents as it just had curled through and ran up yesterday. And again, they pop up, and I was looking at it to see if it kind of wanted to move the right way. And it did hit the 20, so it was understandable. So it was a hard one to get that look and see if it's crossing through and going up because it hit some resistance right there. And it did pull it back some, but it looks like it wants to set back up and get bouncing soon. So we'll keep an eye on mine. It didn't even really cross through. It hit the line and pulled back. So it's going to want to try to get crossed up there sooner than later. HLVX, that Hilly Vax pulled back, and I'm just watching this thing because it was set up yesterday, and a lot of them did, but this ran up in the morning, opened at 192, went up to 195, and then came back to 184, and now it's at like 180. So we have to see if that one is just a healthy pullback or actually trying to pull back because a 50 and 20 are meeting, and they look like they want to go up. So I have to keep my eye on it. Like I said yesterday, it definitely looked much better, and that's the case for a lot of these with the big ones hitting their earnings today and them dipping down like that. So we'll take a look at them as well pretty soon just to get an idea. APDN pulled right back into the basement. This took a nice dip. Yesterday it was sitting right there at 30 cents. It opened that and it closed right there at 31. Looked good. And then today it just curled down, opened at 18. It gapped way down and it closed at 20 and it got into the basement. It's probably going to be that dip and rip situation we've been looking at. So I would keep an eye on it for a little bounce play. And that's APDN. So I'm going to mark that and see what that wants to do. And again, these things are just have a very odd look. You got to be kind of careful, like how they were in the summertime. They're getting to be that look while we're less than a week out from the election. So AUUD, I still think is going to try to roll off there. So watch for this thing. It was touching the 20. Watch for it to get up to that 63. It did today. Get over that 63, and then it can get back moving. So I think AUUD is trying to set up right there. ITRM, this had pulled back, and I was just looking to see if it was trying to base out or do something after that big run up. And again, the 20 and 50 were meeting, so it might be stopping right here at like the 113. It got down to 116, so just above it, and we'll have to see. But it's pretty far up there, so I could see it pulling back some more or trying to make a base there. That's all I'm really looking for on that, just to see what it wants to do. And I have no idea what I just did. I just hit something on here. Holy cow. I have no idea what button I just hit on the computer, but everything just went off. Thank goodness it came back. That was the weirdest thing. I've never seen that happen before. Um, there we go. All right, ITRM is back on my screen. There we are. So let me take a look at the next one. I don't even know. I must have hit like an Alt or one of them F buttons, F7. I don't know what I just did, but everything just disappeared. It was pretty wild. And I'm not going to try to do it again. That's for sure. So here we go, ZCAR. ZCAR. That one was down like $1, just touching back down. And I'm telling you, this one's getting set up. It's way down there, building a base after that split, and it ran up to 20, is up at like 1058. But I think this one's going to try. We're watching it just pull back, and let's see when it wants to get moving because it will. Yesterday, again, looked good, started to kind of go sideways where it should, and today just pulled back. So I don't know if today's going to be like a real nice dip and rip situation, or if they're going to want to continue to pull back tomorrow on Halloween as a bunch more have earnings like Apple and Amazon and a ton more. So, and we have a bunch to go through of the earnings. But that's Z car, and again, it was looking great yesterday. Pulled back. U car was going up. We've been looking at that, and I'm telling you, this one wants to run. So keep your eye on this one because it could have some momentum. It's getting towards that top, and it could really get moving there. So keep your eye on that UCAR, UCAR, looking much better and running up there. EJH, this was down like a penny today, but just running flat. It still never got into the basement and had a nice dip. It almost looks like that dip and rip down to 88 cents. So like 0.8879, right under 89 cents. So keep an eye on this tomorrow and see if it does want to try to get moving. That 20 is not too far away. It's at 96. This is at 90. It was at 93. Now it says 89. But let me just take a look at EJH on mine. And yeah, just some pulling back there. And like I said, it's all the way at the bottom. It doesn't seem to want to get back into the basement. It just came out. And I think if it wanted to, it would have by now. But I'll look at it tomorrow. But keep your eye if it's trying to bounce, you know it's going to be running. And WTO is just running along that bottom too. And it looks much better. The 20's right under it and it's touching down. So this one could get moving. Just looks like the market didn't want it to today. So keep your eye on both of these tomorrow. Maybe WTO looks a little bit better, but keep your eye on both of them. They could both try to bounce and get moving. And the yin and the yang, we went over them. The yin did pull back there, so it's went down what $1.27, and it looks like it wants to dip down there, which is nice. And then the yang, well, I'm gonna look at the yin on mine just for the after hours, but yeah, it looks like it's pulling back. It kind of just held itself in the after hours, so that's that look I'm getting. But the yang was curling up today. It got up to like 375. It opened at 371. It's at 364, and it looks like it's really trying to curl up there. They just been kind of stair stepping rather slowly, but the yang does look much better today. So it could get moving tomorrow up to that four. And if it gets over that four again, where it was last time, on October 17th, that high was 405. It can really get moving into like the $5, $6 area. So keep your eye on that yang because it looks like it wants to make that move. And we were looking at them before. They did pull back, great opportunities, and I think you're going to see it get moving there. So there you go with the yin and the yang, and WBA is at Walgreens down 11 cents today. And I'm telling you, it's not looking good for this company because they look like it's going to drop some more. And I have no idea. I would assume that there it just says is Walgreens the worst performing S&P stock in 2024. I would imagine just looking at the chart, it's not one of the best, that's for sure. So WBA, like I said, keep an eye on it, but it looks like it's pulling back. We'll see when it wants to bounce up. Maybe it'll file for bankruptcy and you'll hit the bankruptcy pop. So we'll look at it. WBA. What was next? Holo. I said I would just keep watching it fall down. I knew it was going to get to that bottom. Let's see if it wants to bounce. This could be the bottom. Might keep dipping, and like I said, we'll take one more pop at it, and then that'll be it for Holo. We knew it was coming down all this time, and I mean, you want to talk about diluted? Holy cow, they diluted the hell out of this thing. So I'm not sure when we first started looking at it, but it has to be back in July-ish or maybe August, and it would still be in like what is it, 285? You'd have to get back to at least the tens, I bet. So it's way diluted there, Holo, and we played that pretty smart every time. SXTC is that China SXT pharmaceutical, and just watch it pull back a little bit more, and I think it's going to get popping. So, or it could even bounce off of there tomorrow, but just keep your eye on this one because it's setting up right there. Looks like it came down, crossed down on mine. So watch for it to pull back a little bit more and then try to bounce. Maybe next week it will, but like I said, pulls back, it's going to get set up to try to run right there. And it should just be like a nice quick bounce and then probably come back down again. So that's SXTC, LSB down 11 cents, but I'll tell you what, sitting in the perfect spot. This is exactly where you want to look at this bad boy. Sitting on that line on the bottom right there and crossing. It's like about to cross through. Let me see what it did in the after hours. Yeah, keep an eye on this one. And again, that patience, we kind of timed it out where it was a day or so that it wanted to kind of cross through and then it went flat. So even though it went flat, we still knew it was right around there. It did pop up that day. We were looking at it right around there at the bottoms, and now it's touching back down there. So wow, diluted. Holo diluted. I just gotta look at that because it popped up. Laptop Travel just said Holo diluted one for 200 shares in 2024. That's pretty wild, guys. I mean, that's a lot of dilution right there. It's hard to make that up. Let's put it that way. But LSB, back to that one, is touching that bottom and it's right there. I have to imagine that you're going to see a bounce really soon. And it's at the right price down there at 258, 252 in the after hours. And when it ran up the other day, it opened at 310 and got to 370. So look at that one, LSB, and that one's not looking bad. SNOA was looking good. I know it was a little flat today, but it looks like it might have started running up in the after hours. It's right in that spot too. I'm telling you, we've been looking at it. I knew I was a little bit early. What's it say? 305 and then came down to 280 and it's at 290 right now. And I'm telling you, this thing's going to want to get moving relatively, holy cow, relatively soon. All right, there I am. Sorry, relatively soon it's gonna want to get moving, but yeah, once it gets and it did, it got to 299. Like I said, it's almost at that $3. 290 mine says this says 299 in the after hours. But once it gets up over that 290 something, it's going to want to get jumping. And in the 50s right there, like 333. So this one does want to get a pop off. And I'm not saying it wants to go forever, but it does want to run. So keep your eye on SNOA and Silo, SILO. Let's look at that one. Because that was setting up down 2 cents, up 2 cents, and this one is touching that MACD, and you're 20 and 50 are touching. I wouldn't be surprised if this one runs pretty nice really soon. So keep your eye on Silo, SILO. It is definitely setting up right there. I mean, you got everything setting up right there. It could come back to your 111. It didn't yet today. It came back to 112. Maybe it does tomorrow, sets up for a day or so, but they can pop off at any time right there. So SILO, keep your eyes on that one as well. TTOO, this one was looking good to try to set up. It's been in the basement and just running down there. The 20's coming down. It's at like 140. This is at 95, and it was kind of crossing down. We were looking at it yesterday or the day before and I was wondering if it was going to roll off, and it did cross down, and it's kind of flat. I could see this one trying to cross back up pretty soon and then get moving out of the basement. Again, the 20's up there a little bit, so maybe it runs in the basement a little longer, but this one will be a decent one when it sets up. TTOO, it's way down there. So that one will be nice. And like I said, this thing in July was in like opened at the $6 area. It got up to 680 at one point, and that was in July, and you're down to 95 cents, and it didn't split. So it's way down there. And I remember this one during COVID times, it was running all kinds of, it ran a bunch of different times. So that's TTOO, T2 Biosystems, GIFT. That gift was up yesterday, back down today, 18 cents. And I mean, it was setting up in the right spot, pulled back right there, and still looks like it's in a good spot. And yesterday's candle was crazy. Like I say, when they open and close at the same, right around the same price, I tell you, it's so hard to figure out what the heck it's going to do. And today, I don't know why it is like that, but it just is. And I think they're called certain candles, but I don't remember. But anyway, GIFT, and again, it just kind of looks like some of that healthy pullback today. So we'll have to see if it bounces back up. But it ran up yesterday a little bit, ran up to 25th some too, but pulled back 18 cents, like 10% right now. And let's just see if it wants to bounce back off that 20 and it curl back up GIFT, and that'll be a gift. And I have a feeling it probably will be. So a lot of them reacted today, and we're just kind of pulling back. And maybe it's just a rocky week or so for the next week while we get through the election, and then they start picking back up. And then they look like they're going to run, and I wouldn't be surprised they get all the way to the top, and then they start coming back down again. So I'll expect that to happen, which is perfectly fine when you're trading options because you get out, and then when you see them coming down, you just buy your put, and you just do the exact opposite as your call, and you do the put. And again, I'll put the video up. I'll have it up by this weekend, and and give you guys an idea. So, and it's probably better because these earnings have been crazy. So it's better that you guys weren't messing around with these ones because they were hard. They're all hard looks. I'm telling you, I was telling people today. They're all like a seesaw. You could go either way. So they're difficult, but we can catch all these poppers, obviously, and just know what's going on. You have to know what's going on at all times. But ALLO, this one is setting up another one just ready to get rolling yesterday and then came back down today. I think it ran up as high as it did yesterday. Yesterday got the 301. Today it opened at 274. It got the 301. It wanted to, and it just couldn't do it. So keep your eye on that because it's going to want to ALLO, Allogene Therapeutics, and it's at 271 in the after hours. And like I said, it is going to want to get moving. And let's just roll through this list real quick. CDIO. Here we go. That was pulled back like 2.5%, ran up the other day. Still not in a bad position right there. So I could see it trying to just set back up and get moving soon. So CDIO, again, another one that looks like the market just didn't want it to really get moving, just wants to make a base there. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if it wants to continue back up and get higher than that 33 cents that it was at the other day. Um CJET, that was looking good yesterday, and it curled up some. It went up what 4 cents and then some up in the after hour. Opened at 218, went to 230, back to 216 was its low. That's where it closed, and then jumped up in the after hour. So I'm telling you, they're all just running around like crazy. But CJET looks like it wants to continue its way up tomorrow. That was one we looked at last night and said it was going to move, and it is CJET. And that's the thing. I'm just going with the ones that I'm like almost, and I won't say 100% confident with, but in my mind, I'm 100% confident with them. And it's kind of few right now. So it's not a bunch where it was the other day, and they are fluctuating day by day, like pretty a lot. So you don't want to be just getting real crazy right now. And like I said, you just want to just a couple if you're doing it and really zero in on the ones that you're confident with and you really know the charts and then you trade them smart and you knock them out of the park. And and then if you're new at this, of course, you take it really slow. And I tell everybody, and I'll say it again, you start very low money. And I'll make an example. If you can trade with $10, you can trade with 100, you can trade with 1,000, you can trade with 10,000, and you can trade with 100,000. But if you can't trade with $10 trades, don't think adding zeros to it or throwing more money in it's going to make it easier. You're just going to lose more. So that's my best advice right there. And I've seen it a long time. People just start trying to throw more money at it, and and they're like, yeah, I'll hit this one, it'll make up, but it's you're just not trading smart. You got to get trading smart down packed, and then you can really take it to that next level. So that's what you want to focus on. So things like this, C-Jet, like last night, I was like, that one's moving tomorrow. Keep your eye on, definitely going up. It ran up today. Wasn't real crazy, but again, it gives you that look and it's going up and it's something that you can practice trading or even on paper. I looked at it yesterday, obviously, and today I was looking at them all and knew it was going up. And I'm gonna figure out a legend too. I've been messing around just so it's easy for you guys. I don't know if I want to do a color or what's easiest. Why I'm actually doing. I think I might just have to do letters or something. And to make it the easiest for my brain to remember for one. And that's the main thing that I'm trying to figure out what's easiest for me. And then obviously I can just make a legend. And then I think I'm just going to do it on the computer, make the crypto in the middle list, and then just kind of print out a page and and then yeah, be able to have a legend on it and everything, and then take a picture of that. So I'm trying to make things a little bit better each day. But yeah, so I'll try to do that. That way you guys can actually see which ones I mark and what I say about it. And so I'm just trying to figure out the best way because I'm like I make marks and I know what I meant, but it's not like I was just saying, hey, this one's going up. Like some of them I know are rolling off, and I just make a little indentate, like a little smiley face, but I know that meant to roll it off. And so I'll get something down and we'll figure that one out for sure. And yeah, letters, I know. That's why I didn't want to do the letters because I don't want it to be a mess with stock tickers. I wanted it to be like maybe shapes. I wanted it colors, but when I'm sitting here, I can't really be changing colors of the crown or anything. That'll make it all crazy for me. So that'll make it too difficult. I was thinking shapes. So that's just the reason why I didn't get it out yet because it just wasn't, I just haven't thought of an easy way to do it. And again, I'm trying to make it easy for my brain while I'm doing it, and I can focus on this where I can just do it. Letters would be the easiest, but it's not going to be the easiest for people to realize because you're going to have a bunch of letters with stock tickers. So that I already did tried it, and it just was look like craziness. So that's why I'm saying I'm just if anyone else has any other ideas besides colors, and like I said, I think it might have to be shapes. Shapes might just be the one like a circle, a triangle, a square an asterisk, a star. They're easy, and then they're pretty easy to figure out. So that might diamonds, hearts, circles. There you go. Yeah, I honestly think that's the way. And I should have tried it tonight. I'll try it tomorrow. I'll make a little legend up and I'll do it myself. And then if it works out pretty well, like I said, I'll take a picture of it and shoot it out after the show. And I'll put the pre-market and the show up. I have it recording right. So I will do that. I was just kind of working all day and never even put the show up. I edited it and then never even uploaded it. So I'll do today's pre-market and tonight's show right after and pop them up there. So here we go. Let's keep on rolling. But again, I'm just wanted to let you know that I was trying to make a legend and I did try it. And like I said, the letters just looked too crazy and it was the easiest for me, but I know it's not going to be the best. So I think it's going to be shapes, to be honest, because colors were just way too hard. I'm like, I can't sit there with four different crowns or something. My brain just can't take that right now. And those of you that are new, I suffered a brain injury about 15 months ago, maybe 16 months now. Kind of stopped counting, but yeah, I took a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a two-story house to my head. So I did suffer a brain injury, and I'm getting much better. I'm telling you, the show's the best therapy you could ever imagine. And but yeah, I can't mess with the colors, so I think the shapes will do it. So anyway, we'll keep rolling. I'll mess with that tomorrow. Hopefully it works out and we can start doing that. I think that'll help as well with the video. I think it'll be probably pretty beneficial for everybody. So here we go. CTOR. That was setting up yesterday. It just kind of ran flat. It was 118 to 127 and came back down to 115 and it closed at 121. So a little higher than it opened and it's setting up and not looking bad right there. CTOR, so you can keep an eye on that one. Looks really good on mine. Looks way different on FinViz than mine, but again, ton of them do. So we're not stressing about that. ERNA was looking good yesterday, and that one has that weird look today where it basically opened and closed at the exact same spot and it could go any which way tomorrow. ERNA and looked great. And again, just I've no when they look like this, I'm just like I might as well flip a coin because it just gives me I wish it would just open and close at a different spot just so I could see something. And I just hate when they look like this. So I'm not even sure it went flat right there, and it could go either way right now. But it did run up today, 110 to 125. We were looking at it yesterday. It looked good, and it's at 113. But what it's going to do tomorrow, I honestly can't really tell you because it just has that look that it's hard. GXAI. This was down 5 cents and just kind of pulling back a little bit, but not looking bad. Look kind of healthy pullback to me. So let's look at it and see if it wants to just be healthy pullback. If not, I'm just been going through the list and figuring out different ones that I think want to try to get set up or pop or our best opportunities. So I was going through some of the lists from a couple weeks ago because I'm telling you, we're like 3 weeks early on everything. You can kind of see that. So I want to finish doing one of them, couple of them from tonight or tomorrow, and then like I said, I think it's just like one of them lull times right now for the next few days with that election coming up. So we can kind of just take our best idea, like, take the best one and really zero in on it. So I'll let you know what I think is going to be the best ones and tell you what I think. So we'll roll through. Let's roll and see what's happening here. GXAI, again, just a little healthy pullback. Does not look bad there at 141. So keep our eyes on that one. My size was looking decent. I know it did pull back today. I saw it, and now it's like it's pointing down, but coming to that MACD, and is it going to bounce off, roll off? I'm waiting for mine to pop up. I know I looked at it today. I think it might try to roll off there. And again, a ton of them had that pullback, but are they going to continue to pull back with these earnings? Are they going to bounce? It's so hard to tell right now. I'm going to be honest. I always am, and it's very hard to tell. ONCT down 3 cents, just sitting in the right spot. It's kind of surprised it didn't start popping off. It did yesterday, and I would expect this one to try to bounce up. So it wasn't bad today. It 153 to 159, and it closed at 150. So looks like it's just set up right there, ONCT. So keep an eye on that. Lemonade, LMND. This one was moving. They had their earnings yesterday. We looked at it, and it did. It was coming down to the line and just kind of popped up to 20 and 50 were meeting, and it popped it up today. So this one did run LMND, and it kind of looks pretty strong. Look at it. Opened at 18.18 and got up to 21.50, and it's at what 20.80. So it's up there and it looks like it's pretty strong right now. So check out that lemonade in the morning and see if it still wants to get cruising. LMND and LGHL, the Lion Group, that was up a penny, and the Lion looks like it wants to get tearing up again. So watch for the Lion to try to run tomorrow. I saw it today and I said, oh my, that Lion looks pretty good. So keep an eye on the Lion tomorrow because LGHL is looking pretty solid again right there. So expect that one to try to move. OCGN, it's just up a penny. It was up at, like to $1 yesterday, I believe, $1.04. And today it's 95 to 102. It's at 101, it says in the after hours. I know their earnings are coming up in November 8th. And it looks like it wants to try to get curled up and moving, guys. So keep your eye on this OCGN. And I know I talked about it the other day. I just put it on the list. It grabbed my attention, and it looks like it wants to get moving. So keep your eyes on that one. And this thing at one time was like, I remember it was at like $20. I'll go back and tell you when. Uh, Probably this was November 3rd of I don't even know what year I'm in, but it was even higher than that. So this thing was way up there, and I don't think it ever split because it was down, but yeah, I'm looking. I know because I've traded this one a few times, and it running from very low to like 20 something dollars one time. It was a big run up. So OCGN could get moving right there. So keep your eyes on that bad boy. RVSN, like I said, we looked at that. I looked at it this morning. Actually, I saw it and it looked really good. So I posted it real quick and it started to move. Opened up at 48, got to 54. It's sitting at 50 and it doesn't look bad at all. I said, the train wanted to leave the station finally, and it does look like it wants to. So that jumped out at me this morning when I was kind of cruising around, and that wasn't even in the pre-market. That was kind of as the market opened, our pre-market. And again, I don't know how crazy they're going to be for the next few days until after the election. You can kind of just see everything's on stop pretty much. Here we go. OCGN, that was November 2021, and it has not reverse split since 2019, OCGN. And yeah, it was up there. I'm telling you, it was up over like $20 at one point. So that one, it's a biotech company and it has potential to move. And I think during COVID, they might have had something with the COVID vaccines or some nonsense. Who knows? But anyway, RVSN looking good. So keep your eyes on that bad boy for tomorrow because that train could keep running. SAIH. I'm not familiar with this one, but it was up 12 cents. This ran up big the other day on October 16th, 60 to 180, 60 cents to 180. And honestly, looks like it wants to get cruising. SAIH. I'm not even gonna, it's SAI Heat Ltd. I don't know what it is in Singapore, but I'll tell you what, it looks like it wants to keep that momentum and keep running up today. Like I said, 112 to 130, and it does look pretty solid to try to continue its way up. Just look for it to get up into the top tomorrow, and it's going to run. And like I said, it did get up to 180, and it could keep going. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Someone asked me about that, and it does look like a pretty good momentum play for tomorrow. And let's look at PC. Premium Catering Holdings up 10 cents. This is a new one, but I'll tell you what, I generally don't get a good look on these, but this one just looks pretty good right here. I would say take a look at it. This one could get moving. It just opened September 25th at 5:30 and it's down in 73 cents, say 79 right now, and it looks like it's curling out of the basement. So it took a nice dip on October 23rd. It opened at 418, ran up to 550, and then came down to 120. And like I said, it's been down there since, and that was just October 23rd. So just the other day. So take a look at this bad boy PC. Um, it could be kind of PC and be pretty cool if it runs up like that because I'll tell you what, it looks like it wants to. So we'll keep an eye on it, PC, and see what it wants to do. Let's look at some of these that have earnings tomorrow, like Sirius XM, SIRI. That's down 26 cents. They have their earnings. It was setting up really nice. I know it ran up really nice. And but let's see what it wants to do for these earnings. And another one, it's just so hard. I was saying this last night. They put them all in the perfect spot to be the hardest look ever. I mean, this one looks like it was just pulling back, but honestly looks like it wants to go up tomorrow. So if I had to guess, I'll tell you what I think, and I'll even jot them down because I did it today. And they were pretty accurate. Obviously, some of them beat earnings, like I said, and came dipping down hard. So when that's going to happen and these charts are set up like this, they're just they're just tough. I said Amazon was going to go up yesterday, and that one popped up this morning. But let's go through these bad boys, and then we'll hop over to them. So Sirius XM, it looks like it wants to go up on the earnings. It was pulling back a little today, but it looks pretty good. So we'll see. I know Warren Buffett just bought in like half the company or something like that. I don't even know how much, but he bought in a ton of it. So 132. Wait, no, that's not how much. I thought that was it. It said something else. I know he bought in. I'm not gonna look for it because it's whatever, but he had recently bought in. Shell. Let's look at that one. SH. Wait, what did I even write? I don't even know. I thought Shell was let me see. No, it's definitely yeah, I guess it is. I must have added a I must have added an L when I did it. SHEL. I did. I added an L. It's only supposed to be SHEL and it's Shell, the gas company. So they have their earnings tomorrow. And this one looks like it wants to bounce up. So let me take a look. It came down the after hours, and I am telling you, they are all just a tough look right here. Shell, yeah, it looks like it wants to run up on that. So I would say is trying to go up. Let's look at MRK. Is that Merck? Yeah, Merck and Company up $1.10. Their earnings are tomorrow. I would say they're gonna beat it, and that one's go. I would say Merck looks really good. So if I was looking at them, I'm gonna say Merck is looking really good right there to go up on that option on that earnings, I mean. So any option probably, but yeah, it's just coming out of the basement and it's trying to curl up there. Even if it doesn't get through and it gets up to that 106 from 104, and I'm sure they have an option at 105, you're going to beat it right there. So that's Merck, MRK, and it's way down there. Here we go. Let me see what laptop travel because I was kind of just looking to see if he'd write something about it, and he did, of course. Sirius Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway continued to increase its stake in Sirius XM, now owning 32% of the New York-based satellite radio company, the Omaha, Nebraska-based. Clemrop, I can't even say that word. Their company purchased roughly 3.6 million shares, 3.6 million shares for about $87 million. So there you go. And like I said, Warren Buffett's in it. And it does look like it wants to go up, but I'll tell you what, Merck looks really good. It did run up today. It pulled back a little in the after hours, but it's setting up solid. So even like a couple weeks out, Merck looks really good down there. So I would say MRK is looking decent for their earnings run, or at least in the next week or so. Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, let's see this. Where was their low at when all that stuff was happening? Like in the 50s, probably, or was it even lower than that? I think it was just in the 50s, I believe, and kind of rebounded. I don't really remember when all that took place, but let's just look at their earnings. This one looks like it's dipping down, so this one looks like it's coming down even harder. Was down $1.05, and Budweiser looks like it's going to be pulling back some more. So I would say Budweiser is going down right there. But I'll tell you what, when it gets down here, it'll be a nice little bounce play, but it could come down pretty good. So we'll watch for Bud to come down. And BMY, what's that? Bristol Myers Squibb up 16 cents, and they have their earnings tomorrow. It's sitting right there. I'm gonna say that this one's gonna get pushed down by that 20. I don't believe it's going up over tomorrow, so I'm just going to say that that one's going down. BMY. I mean, on mine, it looks like it's going up. On here, I mean, you're looking at two different charts here, so that's kind of crazy. But I know what stock charts is going to look like. It looks like FinViz every time now. Um, oh man, now it's tough because mine looks pretty decent, and this one doesn't. So. I'm not even sure with BMY. I'll go with mine and say it might want to go. I still say it wants to go down. I don't know. That one's tough. I'm not even sure. So I'm not sure what BMY is going to do there. The charts are looking too different on them, so can't really tell. X is a steel company, United States Steel Corp. Let's see what that's up to because it's been running up. I actually watched this one, follow it. I've traded a bunch of times as well, so it might be a good one to keep our eyes on. And they have their earnings, and it's looking pretty solid, to be honest. It looks like it wants to go up and try to get into that 42. It's at 39 right now. So X is looking pretty good now. Is it going to run up tomorrow? That's the question. I'm not sure. I'm saying it's going to run up to that 42 in the next few weeks. So I'm not sure if that one's going to go up, but I'll say it's going up in the next few weeks. And so you can play that accordingly and check it out. But their earnings are tomorrow. Uber's earnings are tomorrow as well. And that one, oh, this one's sitting right underneath of there, and they couldn't make that one any more difficult. The 20's underneath, it's hitting like two resistance right there and pulling back on the MACD. You want to talk about trying to trick your eyes up. And in my chart, it looks like it wants to blast through and go driving. So, holy cow, it's so crazy. I'm telling you, between these two, here, when you I pop this on here tonight, things coming down, running flat. And then mine's just like ready to rock and roll here. So curling up, ready to go, and looks, I mean, it could pull back there and hit there and bounce, but looks a lot stronger on mine. Let's see. It has to get back over that $80, 80.56 area. I'll say even 80.75, and it can get moving. What's it doing tomorrow? Just knowing that all of these have been set up and beating earnings and pulling back. I'm gonna say it pulls back and it probably beats earnings because it's just set up in that way. So that's what Uber looks like right now. And again, these are just hard looks. So I am going to check out the next one. Is there a game on? I didn't even check tonight, to be honest. I meant to look and I totally forgot to look if the World Series game was on tonight. So now I have to look at it. Let's see. Anyone know? Yeah, it is. Oh, it's the top of the fifth, and I didn't even put it on, to be honest. I totally forgot. 5-5. Someone keep me updated. So it's 5-5 in the top of the fifth. That's why I meant to look before I hopped on. And I was doing a bunch of stuff and I wasn't even paying attention. So yeah, the World Series game's on. And obviously if the Dodgers win, they win the World Series. So Dodger just scored 5 to tie it 5-5. Oh wow, they just scored 5 runs to tie it up. So the Yankees were up 5 runs, and now the Dodgers just came back. So yeah, it's been a heck of a it's been a pretty good series considering it's 3-1. Dodgers are up. The Yankees won last night, but game one was wild. And there you go. So just let us know if anything else crazy happens there, and we will greatly appreciate that. Oh, cool. There you go. Here I'll repost it. There you go. There's the thank you, little Iron Man as well. And appreciate everybody. And yeah, Budweiser, October 2023 hit that bottom around $51. That's when all that crazy stuff was going on with Budweiser. And so yeah, that had gone down. But Uber, like I said, just knowing what's going on, we'll bust through these because the World Series is on, and if people want to watch that as well. But here we go. RBLY, isn't that roadblocks or is it RBLX? That's what I wrote. That's an X. RBLX, that's roadblocks. And this one looks like it's going to go up. It's right between that channel. I mean, it could hit that 50 and come back down, but it looks pretty strong. Let me see. RBLX. Nope. RBLX. Looks pretty solid to me. I'm going to say Roblox is going to go up. On that one right there, that looks pretty good to keep running up. MA is MasterCard, and this one is setup. I'm telling you, this guy, I don't know what they have going on, but a lot of people must be in debt, I'm sure. With this economy, there's no way you're not. And it looks really, really good, MasterCard. So look at MA because that one looks really good right now. I looked at it yesterday. Again, another one they asked if it was a good one to put on. And I said, I don't know. I think that one's going to bounce back up. And I hope they took my advice that it was going to bounce back up. But I said it was right there, teeter, and don't mess with it. But glad you don't put on that when it jumps back up over $10 today because that'll definitely crush you. Not crush you, but you won't be up on it. You won't be in the money. But yeah, it was hitting that 20 and bouncing back up. And I think MasterCard gets rolling. So MA looks pretty nice right there, and that's your MasterCard. And WEN is Wendy's, and that's just up 3 cents. They have their earnings, and it's up at the top. And I mean, you want to give it a more difficult look. Yeah, it could bounce up. Yeah, it could come out the top. It's so hard to tell with Wendy's. I have no idea what they're going to do tomorrow. So that's like a coin flip. I'm not even sure with Wendy's, WEN. I wouldn't mess with that one. Just see what it does. It is setting up to be bullish long term, but you might be able to get a way better price. Peloton is tomorrow, and that's PTON, and that is down 13 cents. And that one's in the top. I think Peloton's coming down. PTON, that looks like it's going to come down right now, and then probably pick up, come back down into the 570s. It's at 666 in the after hours, it says. And I think it closed and opened right around the same price. But yeah, Peloton looks like it wants to pull back there and then set back up, and then it'll probably set back up for the holidays. That one will probably run up in the Christmas season. Tree, Lending Tree, that's what that was. That was up like $5 today. This one looks like it wants to keep cruising, although it's hitting some resistance right there at that 58. And again, they're just so crazy right now, but it is setting up super bullish. So it will get to that 63. I just don't know about it tomorrow, but over in the next few weeks, Lending Tree is going up. So people are borrowing some money from Lending Tree, it appears. So take a look at that. NKLA, let's look at this, down 15 cents. They have their earnings, and it looks like that one's just pulling back. So I think they're going down. NKLA. And what is TTE? Is Total Energies. I'm not even sure what that is, but let's look at it. It's an oil and gas in France, and that one looks like it's just pulling back unless it bounces off that bottom, but I don't know about that right tomorrow. So that one looks like it could be pulling back as well. TTE. And let's look at TAK, I think maybe that is. TAK, Takata Pharmaceutical. That's in Japan. And that one looks good, actually, guys. I think that one might get moving. TT is TAK, I mean. Yeah, that one looks like it's really good right there. So keep your eye on that one. And that's some of the earnings right there for tomorrow. And let's just bust through a bunch more. And then we can go watch the rest of the World Series. We'll rock and roll. And again, it's kind of just all over the place. So we will just take a look at it in the morning and see how things are rolling. And let's look at our crypto, our big caps, and that stuff. And then we'll roll through the rest of the list there. And boom, we'll call it an earlier night. So here we go. Let me hop on the crypto and see what's going on tonight. I know it was pulling back a little bit, but it had run up there, and Bitcoin is at 72,379. And again, it got all the way to basically its all-time high, and it's still looking pretty good there to keep going up. I think you're just seeing a little bit of pullback, and it's going to keep on rolling. Ethereum, I told you, was just crossing through. That's up and over to 100, and your 20 and 100 are meeting up, and that one's going to continue to cruise up right there. Ripple's at 52. Did pull back a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It just crossing through. I think it's just a little healthy pullback, and that gets fired up. Cardano's at 35, and that is sitting right at the 50 and 100, and they're crossing each other, and that bad boy's about to get ripping finally. Um, Doge is over 17 now. Remember, we were looking at this bad boy at 6 cents. So, and I think it got close. It did got to 18 today. I thought it did. But yeah, it got right there to 18. And Doge is way up. Chainlink is up today as well. And that's looking really good. Link. Um, that one's about to get cruising. I know my buddy T that listens to CNR likes chain link, so that one's cruising up there. And we'll look at Bonk real quick and see what that's up to because that was setting up. And let's look at Bonk because it looked pretty it was kind of just setting up there. Like I said, it says it's kind of down, but it's making a base right there on the 100. I think it's fine even if it pulls back a hair, and it's setting up to get bonkers. So I think bonk is like the one that didn't go nutty yet, like Doge. And you can kind of keep your eye on that one. So yeah, we'll look at that. As a matter of fact, I was meant to look up Sheeb and see what that was doing. SHIB, because that one caught my eye, and it was just about to cross through. It's hitting the line, just making a base up there, but Sheeb is looking good too. SHIB. We'll start looking at that. We'll start looking at a bunch more of the crypto and ones that are really popping up too. So I think crypto is honestly going to get cruising. I think you'll make more money in crypto than you will in the market. Um, it's definitely my experience for sure. And a lot of other people I know, crypto just moves and it's wild. I'm telling you, when it's moving in these bull markets, you're gonna see some of these young kids that hit these meme coins. They're gonna become millionaires overnight. I'm not even kidding. And I follow all these coins, and you can see them easily. And like I said, I have the scanner so that you can pick every one on Coinbase that we can actually trade because we don't get access to them all in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S. and Canada, you do because you can use the regular Binance. The Binance US still doesn't have everything. Coinbase is getting a little better, but they still don't have every coin. So, but I'm telling you, there's nothing like crypto. It is insane and it's about to get wild. So we will be cranking it up. And like I've told you all, if you have any questions or feel intimidated about it, just let me know and I'll help you out and show you how to start it and everything. And then you'll realize it's really not that bad and it's really not intimidating and it's quite easy. It's probably easier than trading stocks, to be completely honest with you. So once you start doing it, it becomes a piece of cake. And but it is an intimidating factor at first. I get it. I was intimidated, and I think everybody had been at one time until somebody really shows them how to do it. And the first step, obviously, if you live in the US, sign up for a Coinbase account, and that's where you want to start. That's the platform I use, and most people use. It's one of the safest ones, biggest ones, and you can start there and obviously open other platforms as you move along. But that's where you want to begin. And then, yeah, I can kind of help you out if anybody's stuck. And again, we have a great community here where a ton of people are very knowledgeable. So if anyone ever has questions about anything, just ask and it always gets answered. So there you go. And that is crypto. Let's cruise through the other ones real quick. and we'll get back to the World Series tonight and call it an earlier night. GameStop, I'm telling you, is going to get cruising, guys. So keep your eye on it. It did run up today, but it's still looking great. And I think it still wants to get running up there. It looked like it was trying to pull back a little bit today. So just see tomorrow if it tries to pull back. But on FinViz, it looks amazing. Mine shows the after hours. But again, still looking real solid. Even if it pulls back a little bit, uh, look for them dips because it's going to be worth it. And I'm telling you what I tell you, AMC up 12 cents, but this thing's about to get rocking and rolling, guys. So definitely keep your eyes on AMC because it is setting up. It looks great. I told you that one looked the best out of them all. And Chewy is getting set up. It's coming down from that bottom, and that thing's setting up super bullish. I'm telling you, it's going to get over $35 sooner than later. Not tomorrow, but it's going to get there, and it's at 26. So they are setting up to get running, and that's a good sign. NVIDIA, NVDA, no, this one was down. They don't have their earnings. I was thinking Amazon. Their earnings are next month on the 20th. They were basically the only ones, but it's almost down to the 20, has that weird look, cross through coming down, and I have no idea what it wants to do tomorrow. So looks like it wants to pull back more to me, is what it looks like. So we'll see if it comes down to that 20, which is at 136, and if it comes through it. And that's what I'm looking at for NVIDIA. So we'll see. But Apple has their earnings tomorrow. So that's important. And it was down today, came right to that spot on it's like the most perfect spot you want to see it at. Right there on the support line, setting up. The only thing it did was curl through and go down, but it went up in the after hours. And I'm telling you, these things have been very, very strange. So I think Apple smashes their earnings and it still could pull back. I have no, honestly, it looks like it should go crazy, but the way these things have been going right now, it just like kind of looks like it wants to pull back at the moment. So I'll look at it in the morning and let you know. But yeah, both charts look like it wants to pull back. I'm not saying it won't change tomorrow, and I think they're going to smash their earnings. So I don't understand because all of them are just crushing earnings and coming down. So I think it's just a weird thing we're seeing with the election, and I have no idea what's happening, but we're just looking and telling you what we see. Google, that one keeps running up, but I think that one's going to be coming down. It hit the top today, and they did beat their earnings and popped up. So, and it popped up pretty nice today, but I think that one's coming back down tomorrow. Again, it could be a little bit of a red day. Amazon, here we go. They have earnings. It jumped up today. It looked great. Like I said, I saw it yesterday. It looked great. And it should continue its way up, and I kind of feel like they're going to smash their earnings and kind of somehow fall back. So I have no idea what's going on, but I'm just telling you what it looks like here. And so we'll see how Amazon opens up. If they open up green, maybe they're just going to reverse, and it's a weird look in the after hours. So, we're definitely on at 7 a.m. tomorrow. We are every day, but tomorrow is going to be a important one. Not that every day isn't, but tomorrow's especially because of what they look like. And again, the election's less than a week away. Meta, another one, just super bullish. And 591 pulled back like $15 in the after hours, and it's hitting that line, not looking bad. Their earnings are they had their earnings today, didn't they? And I think they smashed their, I mean, everything looked good. I think they beat their earnings today. Them and Microsoft, I think both beat their earnings, right? And they both came down. Yeah, and Microsoft, yeah, they both beat their earnings and both of them pulled back. So not something you see every day. And that's why I'm saying with the other ones, you might see that same exact thing just because we're seeing it with all these. So yeah, Meta pulled back after it beat its earnings. And then obviously I said Microsoft did the same thing. But these could be good dip opportunities as well. Like Meta came down to 554, and that's a really good support line right there. So we'll have to see what's going on. Yeah, or nah, I couldn't wait. Oh, I'm looking at two different charts. Hold on one sec. Let me pull Meta. 564. So that came down to that's what it says on mine. It came down to 564. Hold on. It opened at 607, 554, and it closed at 573. Getting confused. I was looking at two different charts. I was looking at Microsoft and Meta at the same time. But here we go. All right. It's not, yeah, it like I said, it's beating its earnings and they're pulling back. So they're going to bounce back up, that's for sure. They're set up super bullish and so we're seeing some weird stuff right here and that's Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla already had their earnings, but it was pulling back here and it's right in that spot where if it hops back up and stays over to 260, it's moving. But if it doesn't, it's got to come back down to like the 230. So it looks like it wants to kind of pull back, and that's Tesla. So nothing exactly holding up the market at the moment. And again, the election's right there. So I think that's what we're looking at for the most part. Nike, that was down dollar 95 and it's touching that bottom. And I was saying maybe we'll get it back. It's 75 area, but we'll see if it wants to get into the basement tomorrow. It is down at that bottom. We'll watch to see if it wants to have a bounce. And then Nike will be a nice one because that's setting up super bullish as well. And so we'll look at Nike and run that back up next time it wants to get moving. It will be soon. That Rivian, I know, pulled back. It's setting up, I'm telling you, though. And their earnings are coming out in November 7th. And yeah, it is setting up Rivian, RIVN. It just had some pullback today, but I think that's getting set up right there. And PLTR has just been a monster up there, and I think it's finally coming down. Remember, I was saying, don't mess with that thing up there. It's scary. And I think you're gonna have to see it at least come back down to the 40. It's at 42.22. I think it's coming through that 20 is what I was gonna say. And it could come down to 37. So not saying it's not going to set back up, but I think PLTR has run up there so much for so long. It just has to pull back. And I thought it would have sooner. And it ran up a little longer than it did. I thought, but there you go. Sophie, one that pulled back and it ran up today, but I don't know if it's going to keep going through that 1124 area. It's trying to get back in the top. It's looking pretty strong. Let me see. I mean, it does look pretty strong to roll off of there. They had their earnings too, and they beat it, and now it's going up. But they had their earnings what yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was their earnings, and then yesterday, look, yesterday it came back and did that dip and rip situation. So I think we're kind of seeing that look too. So we're seeing these earnings them pull back, but then they might just pop right back up the next day or within a day or two. Again, it's a little wild right there with all these earnings and the election, but we'll keep an eye and see what's happening. Of course, Boeing, that was up $1.31. I don't know how, but this one looks like it wants to roll off and go up. So keep your eye on Boeing because it does look like it wants to go up, and I'm not exactly sure how, but it is. So that's BA and Snow, SNOW. This one was crawling through, and I'm telling you, this one looks really good to get moving. If it gets through there tomorrow, it's going to start moving. So keep your eye on that Snow. On mine, it looks like it bounced back. So I'll look at it in the morning and see. It looks like if it hits at 122, it could get through it, but this is saying it came back to 116 in the after hours, so we're just gonna have to see if it wants to bounce off of that 116 area. So I'll look at Snow and see what's up with that. And again, all these are all out of whack. So Dell was way up today. We were saying it was set up bullish. I didn't know it was going to run up today like that. It was just kind of curling up, but I don't know if it's going to stay up there either. It looks like it could have just ran up for some reason, and now it's just going to pull back. So be careful with Dell, and if you were in it, just watch the lock in profits. Mine looks like it wants to keep blasting off on here. It looks like it wants to pull back. I'm telling you, it's like looking at two different worlds. And but yeah, it's just we'll look at it and see. It might just curl through and get crazy tomorrow. So we'll watch for Dell if it wants to move. AMD, that had pulled back a bunch today. They did have earnings, and yesterday I don't know. I think the semiconductors did worse than everyone thought. And then you had SMCI like just do their accounting firm like rolled out and they're under investigation by the Department of Justice. So that's a bad sign. That's kind of crazy. So we'll go through that too. But AMD, that one's just pulling back and looks like it's going to continue. It was trying to crawl through, and again, it popped up yesterday, and then it didn't crawl through, and it just dipped down. But it will be setting up very bullish. We'll have to find the bottom, and it'll be a perfect time to buy that one when it dips down here. So let's look at Space, SPCE, down 56 cents. That earnings is coming up November 6th. And oh, you know why? Because Dell competes with the super micro computer and the high performance rack server market. And SMCI recently revealed that its financial auditor has resigned, which raises questions about the company's accounting, management, and operations. And Dell stock is benefiting. And you're 100% right there. But yeah, that's what happened to SMCI. The auditors quit. It's kind of crazy. You never heard of anything like it. And if they're quitting, they're finding shit that, it's just why they must be blown away what's going on at that company. They must have been pumping up prices like you've never seen before. So, they're like, we don't want to be anything involved with this. Let us out here. And so yeah, it could get wild right there. And they're probably they're one of Nvidia's biggest buyers too. So that'll throw that all off and just throw everything way off. So keeping our eye on that all semiconductor thing. But space did pull back. Their earnings are coming up. I have a feeling they're going to want to try to bounce back up. So we'll keep an eye on space and see. Oh, I remember Enron for sure. Enron was a great company. Remember all that blow up? Oh, that was amazing when that happened. That was the craziest thing ever. Yup, I do remember that for sure. And you may see a similar situation with this SMCI to be honest, you're right. A laptop travel, it's a good example right there because I forget what Enron was even up to, but it was something crazy and that just like imploded. So here we go. Space, like I said, just pulling back. We'll have to watch for it to see if he wants to bounce back tomorrow off that 20. Intel has the earnings tomorrow, INTC, right? Yep, tomorrow. And another one just sitting right there. I have a feeling Intel's going down on their earnings tomorrow. So let me just see. I think that one's going to pull back a little bit, is what it looks like. Let me see in the after hours. Yeah, it looks like it's going to pull back to me. And watch, all the ones I say want to pull back will go up, and the ones that I say want to go up will pull back. It's just like they're like completely looking opposite. So I'm just telling you what I'm looking at, but nothing will surprise me because they just look all crazy. Disney's going down and it should get back to that 94. It's at 95. Their earnings are going to be in November 14th. Just see if it can get back down to like 92. And I'm telling you, Disney's going to be a solid one, and that'll get moving very soon. Here's our SMCI. It was down $16 today. And yesterday, I'm telling you, it looked perfect yesterday. And then all of a sudden, their auditors quit. And that's kind of a big deal. So there you go. Super Microcomputer says Ernst and Young resigns as auditors, as auditor, and yeah, these guys are like literally under investigation from the Department of Justice, and a big ass auditing company quit. That's kind of crazy. So, I, you got to figure they don't want to be involved for a reason, and they have a pretty big name. So, we'll see how this all plays out. But yeah, it's coming down to the bottom right there. Let's see if it goes down to that 30. It could even bounce up off of this news. Who the hell knows tomorrow? But it's sitting right there where, you could see a little bounce play, or you could see it just get into the basement and just like really dip hard. So we'll see what SMCI wants to do in the morning. We'll look at that one. OXY, that was up 9 cents. The um gas industry, oil and gas sector, was looking pretty decent today, but I think it's just setting up. Their earnings are coming up November 12th, and I don't think it's really popping right now, Oxy. So, and that sounds crazy, popping Oxy, but definitely not doing that. And I don't think this one's popping either at the moment. And let's look at XOM, which is Exxon Mobil, and that looks like it's pulling back as well. So, like I said, they were up a little bit today. Exxon Mobil was actually down, but some of them in the sector were up, but they are pulling back. Exxon Mobil's earnings were they yesterday? November 1st, so they're Friday, and this thing looks like it's pulling back right there. And let's look at Mara, MARA, down 66 cents. And it looks like it's kind of pulling back. We'll have to see if it comes back down to that $17 area to 20. But it is coming back down to the line right there, MARA, and we will have to see what's going on. Yeah, it could bounce up or it could just pull back and set back up. So it did run up a little bit, and but it's definitely has some room. It could just be in between that channel too as it sets up. So keep an eye on Mara and Riots down 39 cents, and another one. They just ran up so high. I think Riots definitely coming down a little bit. They just had their earnings on October yesterday. I'm not sure what they did, but it looks like it's pulling back. And again, it's going to pull back and set up some more. And that's RIOT. CLSK, Clean Spark was down 31 cents. And this one, I think, will try to get rolling again. I think this one's going to try to roll back off. It's just what it looks like. It's pulling back. I'll keep an eye on it and see if it wants to pull through and cross down. But the 20's coming up pretty solid on it at 1093, and I have a feeling it's trying to roll off of there. So we'll take a look at it. And Coinbase, holy cow, they got smoked with their earnings. And I don't know if they were that bad, but I don't know what the heck happened to them. What did they even do? I think they announced, yeah, they announced a $1 billion stock buyback. Like that's insane. That makes the price should be popping, but somehow it came way down, and their quarterly results did fall short of estimates. So I guess that's what happened there, and it dropped like 4% in the after hours. But yeah, I can't imagine it's really going to come crashing down. Not with crypto moving the way it is right now. That means Coinbase should be trying to pop back up. And again, we saw the other ones come back down with, the same similar thing and then pop right back up the next day. So I wouldn't be surprised if it tries to pop back up. We'll obviously look at it in the morning and see what direction it wants to go, but it was looking pretty damn good right there, I would say. And then obviously came back down, especially that CONL obviously pulled back with it. Came back probably even more, like more than 10% down. And that thing's setting up super bullish at 40. So I think you're going to see a bounce back, is what I think you're going to see. Could be a big overreaction. And again, less than a week out from an election. So I think you're going to see a bounce back. DJT took a huge dive down this in the after hours. Yeah, it went way down. And again, they were just so high up at the top, they needed to pull back. So I don't know if people were selling it, what was going on, but it did. It definitely pulled back right there. And I mean, is it anything to do with the election? I don't know. I mean, the thing ran from $13 to 55. I mean, how the hell 54.68, or even it did go over 55 in the after hours. I mean, it was so far at the top, it needed to pull back. So let it pull back even to here, like to that 30, which is perfectly fine, builds a base and gets rolling. So that's what that one could be doing. And our fun PHUN was pulling back. We knew it would be pulling back. And now it may be trying to make that stop real soon. So we'll see if that one wants to pull back, make a base, and get rolling again. So that's PHUN. PayPal, that had their earnings. And honestly, that was set way up. I think they beat their earnings or something. I don't even remember. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. But that one pulled way back. Looked good yesterday, and then boom, just came right down. It couldn't get moving, so PayPal is dipping. So we'll look for that because that's going to set up, probably going to hit that 76 area and be pretty decent. So we'll watch PayPal. QCOM down $8. Qualcomm looking great yesterday. Their earnings are coming up in like November 6th. But I'll tell you what, this one is getting set up as well. I think you're going to see a big bounce off of that. QCOM. So just keep an eye on that one. QCOM, Qualcomm. It looks like it wants to take a bounce. MTN. Let's look at that bad boy. Down 37 cents. And I'm telling you, it's getting ready to pop up. It's the 20's coming down for it at 171. This is at 168. And this one's going to get ready to get moving. Mountain, MTN, that's at Val. And just watch it. It's going to get cruising very soon. It's setting up bullish up there. And let's see, McDonald's, MCD. down 348. Like I said, I thought it was going to pull back a little bit more, and their earnings weren't even that bad, but you have a whole thing going on. So just let it pull back to the bottom. And as soon as it gets down there and it's ready, we'll now McDonald's because that'll be a solid one to run up quite a bit. Down from 291, and it'll go back up to the 315 area probably with no problem. Even if it goes from 290s to 300s, it's nice. So that'll be MCD and Ford. This one looks like it's trying to bounce back after that earnings. Came way down, and we'll see. And again, I don't know if their earnings were even that bad. To be honest, I have no idea. I don't really look at them, but it did have that dip and rip situation. So let's see if it's gonna bounce right back up there. And that's Ford F. And MSTR is MicroStrategy, and that one pulled back, and that one had earnings. And I'm not sure what they did, but it looked like their earnings weren't as good. I'd be surprised because their earnings are usually pretty solid with all this Bitcoin, especially it being way up like that. And this one looks like it wants to stay in the top and bounce back up. Maybe it comes out of the top just to make some room and comes back down to 209 or somewheres around that area, but it's not looking bad at all. MSTR. And that is our micro strategy. So we'll keep an eye on that and see where it wants to come down to. And let's blast through the rest of this list and then we'll look and see what you guys want to see real quick. ATPC, let's look at that real quick. That's at A Gape. And this one is crawling up there. We were looking at it yesterday and it looks solid. So keep your eye on that one because that one looks really good. BFRI. This one is looking great too, guys. So that one wants to run tomorrow. Keep your eye on that one because that's moving. And that's BFRI and carve. Let's see if that's going to carve out some space and move. That one's pulling back at the moment. So we'll see. Let me just look at it here. Carve. Yeah, just kind of pulling back. Nothing too crazy right there, but keep your eye. Oh, keep an eye on that. EFOI. That was down 8 cents in a good spot. It might want to bounce EFOI. Yeah, we'll look for a bounce play. We'll have to take a better look at that one just to see IVDA. Hold on. There we go. IVDA. I think we looked at this last night, maybe, but this one popped up today. And yeah, it just was pulling back. And again, that was like that dip and rip situation yesterday. Was in a great spot the day before, pulled back today or yesterday, I mean, and then boom, went running today, 143 to 192, and it's up there, EFIO. So just keep your eye on it, unless that isn't today's date. Hold on, what is going on here? Yeah, it's today's date. And definitely today's date. Mine says, what's it say? I'm telling you, it's like looking at two different worlds. Mine just says it opened at 135, went to 133. Mine doesn't even look like it did anything. I have no idea. I gotta look at the right ones. That's why. What am I doing? This is the second time I did this. IVDA, and I never changed the chart from EFOI. Hold on. Let me make it the right one so I can look at it. I was gonna say that doesn't even look like they're two different planets, but this looks normal. Okay. Yeah, this one looks like it's gonna 144 to 208. So it did get up a little higher. That's what I was looking at because I'm like, it looks like it wanted to run up higher than that. And yesterday it ran up even higher to 245. So keep your eye on it. It might go right back over that. So IVDA looking really good right there. KITT, that's at aerospace and defense. It's trying to get set up right there, and the 20 starting to curl up. So watch this one to get set up. It's looking pretty good too in the next few days. LEDS, let's look at that one because that's looking really good right there. I have a feeling that one's going to be running up tomorrow. So keep an eye, and I'm telling you, when the big caps and the Mag Sevens are like struggling, these penny ones just start blasting off. So you can kind of just trade a couple, one or two of these real quick, and then wait for the other ones to bottom out, and then catch your options on them up. So NCPL, that net capital, that one was just looking decent. It was sitting right there. It ran up yesterday, and it's just kind of flat. So I'll have to look at that in the morning. NCPL, ONCT. This was down 3 cents, but it's sitting right there. That one looks like it's going to get moving fairly soon. ONCT. Yeah, just a little healthy pullback, but nothing crazy right there. Looking decent. PCS, PCSA. Let's look at it. Oh, this one's setting up. I probably said that the other day. A little healthy pullback right there. It looks a little weird, but I think this one's getting set up right there. So I'm gonna watch that one. Let me make a mark on that. All right. Let me see that one tomorrow. I just want to see what that wants to do. PSIG, and I'll let you know if it really wants to run. PSIG does want to move, it looks like. Let me see, because it came down the after hours. And let me just just pulling back. I'll take a better look. It was set up pretty nice. And again, they're just kind of all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. RAY is looking good though. So keep your eye on this. This looks like it could be popping up tomorrow. RAY looking pretty good. A little bit of pullback on mine, but it looks pretty solid on the Finviz. So it came down what 9 cents in the after hours to 150. And I'll have to look at that one. And it was looking solid and it pulled back there. REVB. We looked at this one not long ago, and it does look pretty solid. It looks like it wants to curl up off of there and get moving finally. So keep your eye on REVB. This one looks good. That one looks solid for tomorrow. So keep your eye on that. SGLY. That's down a little bit and just a little flat right there. I'll have to look at that. That's really just kind of a flat look. Staff, STAF. That's down 7 cents. This one popped up not long ago, and I think this one's trying to get set up. It's an interesting look for sure. And I'm gonna have to take a look and see tomorrow because them lines are kind of meeting and all kinds of things are happening on this chart. So I'm gonna look at this tomorrow and see what that one wants to do. STAF. I'm not saying it's popping, but it's just trying to do something there, and I'll let you know if it's trying to curl through or roll off. Tries to roll off, I'll definitely let you know because it'll pop. SUGP, that was up 15 cents. This looks pretty solid to continue to move up tomorrow. So keep your eye on SUGP unless it did something crazy in the after hours. Nah, that one looks really solid for tomorrow. So keep your eye on that one. Let's look at our CETX real quick. Oh, CETX. And that was down. It's still just in the basement. And 20 is still way up. Oh, no, it's right there. Where is it at? 66 or 28. And I think we're just, it ran up the other day. And I think we kind of knew, like, yeah, it's going to pop around. Let me see ETX. And it's not ready to run. It's the MACD's up there. It's just running flat. Nothing yet. So CLEU. Oh, what am I typing in? CLEU. That was Clue was down a penny, and it looks like it may be pulling back at the moment. It was definitely looking better the other day. I can tell that. But yeah, it definitely pulled back today. So Clue, CLEU pulling back a little bit there. BSFC, I think we might have did that, but I'll do it again. I think I just Blue Star Food Corps down 4 cents, touching that bottom right there and curling through. We'll watch to see if it wants to get bouncing. I looked at this today, I know. Yeah, it's just curling through and it's in that spot where it's like I don't know if it really wants to get in the basement that hard. I'll have to look at this one and tomorrow as well. ASST ASST up 8 cents. And this one looks like it's solid for tomorrow. It's hitting a little resistance right there, but looking pretty good. I would say ASST. I'd keep my eye on that one. That looks solid for tomorrow. AKTS. This one ran the other day, and let's see. Down 5%, just kind of pulling back. It never got curled through there. AKTS. Just a little pullback. I think it'll get set up and moving pretty soon. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And obviously, if you see it start curling up, it's probably going to get rolling. That drama DRMA just sitting right there at the right spot. I probably did say it's getting set up and it was pulling back. I thought it was going to try to bounce right off immediately. And then as it pulled back, I said, I guess I was a little early. And now it's probably going to get set up right here. It's hitting the lines. And So watch for DRMA to try to get bouncing now. So if it doesn't and curls through, it's coming down quite a bit. And I don't know if it really wants to. And I think it's going to roll off right there. So keep your eye on DRMA in the morning because that one could get some drama rolling. And SXTP is at 60 degrees pharmaceuticals. I remember it pulled back quite a bit. It got into the basement. We recently looked at it and it's just bouncing out right now. And you could have a nice runner. It ran up 10 cents today and it could continue to move tomorrow. So keep your eye on SXTP because that could be a nice little mover right there. And let me see what you guys want to see real quick. Let me look at the messages real fast and see what's going on. Let me look. XYLO. Here, let me look at these bad boys. XL. What is it? XYLO. Oh my goodness. What am I typing in here? XLYO. All right. Here we go. XYLO. Up 23 cents. Curling up nice. Up 7 in the after. Now I gotta try to put these in again. XYLO. Got it. Looks really good. I mean, mine, it looked like it was trying to pull back. 343 it opened because it came down to what, 323 or 322 and then went back to 340. I think you're going to see a mover on this one tomorrow, an Israel Medical Device Company. So watch for that thing in the morning. XYLO. Looking decent. And SPRC, I know that's an Israeli company. What did they do? SPRC, right? Yeah, biotech for Israel. And this one's getting curled up, guys. So keep your eye on that because that one's looking really good as well. So I'll have to retweet them bad boys because they look really good. Um, nice right there. Laptop travel on them bad boys, coin. And we talked about that and Meta and MA, got all them. What's the score anyway? I'm just cruising down to make sure I didn't miss anybody. OCGN, we talked about that. The Holo diluted. All right, I got all them bad boys. Let me know if anyone wants to see anything real quick. And I'll just cruise through. I'll see what's happening over on the stock twits real quick. Give me 1 second here. And I'll see what's going on over there. Here we are. Let's look. Let's see what's trending. SMCI, MSTR, DJT, Microsoft, Meta, just because they're all pulled back. CVNA, let's look at that. Is that Canva? CVNA. Carvana. What did I say? Canva. Carvana. Carvana. We just looked at it the other day. Holy cow, did it really go up $43 in the after hours? Because it didn't look like it was going to. CVNA. Yeah, it did. That one definitely popped up pretty big right there today. 210 to 257. So bam, there you go. World Series update 5-6. It is the Yankees up, and thank you very much, Laptop Travel. And they are going into the top of the seventh, it looks like. So there we go. Appreciate that one. And so yeah, Carvana looking good. Root, Media X, which is a good coin I've traded a bunch of times. Roku and Coin. How about that THAR? We had looked at that one recently, and that one got popping today. THAR and $1.40. I think we saw it on the scanner, but that one ran up pretty nice right there. And XLO, that one we had looked at before, and that one ran up really nice today. So that one's in the top. Look for that one. It could continue to go up there. And obviously MAXN was running up. ADTX, let's see what that wants to do. That was up in the after hours, and it looks like it's trying to get set up. Let me see on mine. Hold on, ADTX. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to curl up. Keep your eyes on that ADTX. That one could be moving as well. And let's just see what else. The Lions might be running tomorrow, and the Yang, OCGN. We've looked at all them. And let me just hop into the scanner real quick, see if we see anything else just for tomorrow. Jumps out at us real quick. And boom. We'll pop off with that. ENSC, we looked at that in the morning. That was on the scanner, or last night we looked at it. STI, we looked at SMCI. Like I said, watch for that bounce. We'll take a look at it and see. It could not be good if that auditing company quit, though. So We'll see what it's doing. Oh, I meant to post this one. LILM, that Germany aerospace and defense was just trying to move like a penny today, but I don't think it's really ready yet, but it just jumped up like a little bit. I saw it jump up a little bit. It was nothing crazy though, so none we have to worry about yet. I don't think it's ready. Snap was way up. We were talking about that. It was looking good. Um, Sophie again, I think it might be trying to crawl back up. AMD pulled back, and them semiconductor ones are HAO. We were looking at that one. That one popped up today, and look for it. It might try to continue. I'm not exactly sure, but HAO is looking really good right there as well. And what else was looking good today? Let me see if anything's looking good for tomorrow. NIO's pulling back. VSTE was popping up there, but that's up at the top. Plug Power looks like it's pulling back. Lucid, we were saying, was pulling back. ASPI bounced up. Yeah, there wasn't like a whole lot. That was just like jumps out at you. Let me go on the other side, look at some volume. That's crazy. And again, I scroll through all these bad boys, so you'll see when you look on the videos on my YouTube. And again, I'll post this one after the when we're done. I'll have it uploaded and this morning's pre-market, so you can watch them and see what I do, and let me know what you guys think about that. So that's kind of cool. I like the videos up. I think it'll help. And again, I'll make a new legend. I'll make a legend and be able to mark up my sheet and take a picture of that and send it out. But yeah, there's not a whole lot that's catching my eye, to be honest. I'm just kind of scrolling through here. This one might be the only one that's really jumped out at me. CPSH. Um, take a look at that one. It's not looking too bad. CPSH. Oh, let me see. Oh, it popped up in the after hours. It looked like 143 to 235, and it's at 190. What did this say? 145. Yeah, 145 to 148. So it must have jumped up in the after. I was looking good. So we'll look at it in the morning at 7 a.m. And again, it's just, a week out from the election, less than a week out, and all these earnings reports. They're beating earnings and pulling back. It's all crazy. I think you might see some dip and rip situations. So we'll go through it in the morning. Let me know if you guys want to see anything else. Obviously, let me just make sure I got all the messages here. And boom, EFSH. Let me see that one. I had a crazy one. Let me see real quick. EFSH real fast. That's at like 1847. I couldn't remember the year. Um yeah, that one pulled back the other day. Let me just see what it did here, because that was a nice dip the other day and it went flat right there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. 48 cents to 54 and then back to 46. So we'll keep an eye on that for when it wants to get set up there. And then boom, and Cole's back out for the seventh. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go watch the rest of the World Series there, tonight's game. So there we go. I would say that's a pretty good market review. And again, just a little crazy charts, and even the heat map's all crazy, to be honest with you. So a little bit of weirdness going on with the election less than a week out. But again, make sure everybody goes out and votes. I don't care who you vote for, just make sure you go out and vote. It's very important. And they have early voting, which I don't understand how you have early voting in PA, but it closes today. I just don't understand what that means. But anyway, and I live a state over from that, so it's goofy, but whatever. But just make sure everybody goes out and votes. That's the important thing. So have a great night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Laptop Travel, Profit Logics, Little Iron Man, Elena, Sherry, Bong Pre Chan, and Game Changer, Eileen, Arusa, O'Hare's Bastard Child, Bruce. Dehan, Luis Rodriguez, and Scott and Jennifer Lee, of course, always has some great stock tickers for us. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out, tuning in as always, and always posting on and chatting and everything. So keep all the comments coming and the emails and everything. I love it, and we'll just keep ripping through the market. Again, it's just a little shaky with the election. So no big deal, we'll roll right through it. And the beautiful thing is, and I'll make the options things, and it's probably better I didn't, so no one's really messing with these earnings because they're a little shaky, like I said. But when it runs up, we'll hit it, and then when it wants to pull back, because the market will, we'll hit it on the way down too. So that's the beautiful thing that we can start to do. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a beautiful thing, and it's going to be great. So there you go. Thanks again, everybody. I'll be back at 7 a.m. It'll be important too, because with these earnings, I want to see what's going on, see if some of these pop back up or what they're going to do. So until then, have a great night, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the World Series that you can. Hopefully, we can extend it into some more games. I just want to see some more. And there you go. So have a great night. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you guys at 7 in the morning. Enjoy your night, everybody.